A man without purpose does not stay neutral. He does not stay harmless. He does not stay calm. He becomes a problem, not because the world is unfair to him, not because society failed him, but because a man was not built to drift. A man was built to aim, built to carry weight, built to move towards something that demands his strength. And when you remove that target, his energy does not disappear. It turns against him. It rots inside him. It leaks out as anger, addiction, laziness, arrogance, and chaos. Listen carefully, son. A man with purpose is a weapon under control. A man without purpose is a weapon swinging in the dark. He injures himself first, then he injures everyone around him. This is not poetry. This is the pattern of life. Every problem man you have ever met was a man who lost his aim. He was not grounded in duty. He was not anchored by a mission. So he found smaller things to worship: pleasure, validation, ego, comfort, women, money, attention, and those gods never satisfy a man. They only make him hungry and bitter. Now understand this. Purpose does not mean you always feel inspired. Purpose is not excitement. Purpose is direction. It is the reason you get up when you do not feel like it. It is the reason you train when comfort begs you to stop. It is the reason you say no to temptation. It is the reason you endure pain without complaining. Purpose is not a feeling. It is a standard. And when a man has no standard, he becomes unstable. He becomes unpredictable. He becomes dangerous in the wrong way. You can see it in his eyes. Restless, irritated, always searching for something to blame, always trying to fill the hole with noise. That hole is not lack of entertainment. That hole is lack of purpose. Let me speak to you like a father. If you do not choose a purpose, life will choose one for you. And most of the time, life chooses a purpose that destroys you. It gives you cheap pleasure. It gives you distractions. It gives you 1,000 small escapes. Then it watches you decay. Because a man with no purpose is easy to control. He is easy to sell to, easy to manipulate, easy to weaken. He becomes a consumer, not a creator, not a builder, not a protector, just a man who takes and takes and takes. And what happens to a man who only takes? He becomes entitled. He becomes bitter. He becomes fragile. He becomes a problem. Now, listen. Purpose is what gives a man moral structure. It tells him what matters and what does not. It tells him what to sacrifice and what to protect. Without that structure, a man becomes impulsive. He chases whatever feels good in the moment. He says what he wants. He eats what he wants. He wastes his time. He wastes his strength. He wastes his potential. Then he wonders why he feels empty and angry, because he is living like an animal, without a pack, without a role, without responsibility. And men are not meant to live like that. A man needs duty. He needs order. He needs a mission that forces him to grow. Without it, he grows sideways. He grows into bad habits. He grows into weakness. He grows into resentment. Let me give you a simple truth. If you do not carry a burden, you will become a burden. You see it everywhere. Men who do not work become dependent. Men who do not train become fragile. Men who do not build become consumers. Men who do not lead themselves start demanding others lead them. And when they do not get what they want, they become angry. They become loud. They become toxic. Not because masculinity is toxic, because a man with wasted masculinity becomes toxic. It is like fire without a hearth. Fire in the right place warms the home. Fire in the wrong place burns it down. Purpose is the hearth. Purpose contains the fire. Purpose turns masculine energy into protection, provision, and strength. Without it, the same energy becomes destruction. Now ask yourself, why do so many men today feel lost? Because they have no mission. They have been taught to chase comfort, not competence. They have been taught that responsibility is oppression. They have been taught to avoid hardship. But hardship is what builds a man. So the modern man floats. He has no code, no duty, no discipline, and he becomes a problem. He becomes anxious, he becomes addicted, he becomes emotionally unstable, he becomes lazy and angry at the same time. He wants rewards without effort. He wants respect without discipline. He wants love without leadership. And when he cannot get those things, he turns bitter. He blames women. He blames society. He blames his parents. He blames his boss. He blames the world. But the truth is simpler. He is a man without purpose, and that is his responsibility to fix. Now listen to me closely. Purpose is not discovered in your head. It is built through action. It is earned through service. It is sharpened through discipline. A man does not sit on a couch and think his way into meaning. He works his way into it. He carries weight until he becomes the kind of man who can be trusted. That is purpose, being trusted, being needed, being reliable. A man without purpose is unreliable. He is unstable. He is inconsistent. He says one thing and does another. He starts things and quits. He promises and fails. He is a problem because you cannot build with him. You cannot depend on him. And when you cannot depend on a man, you either replace him or you avoid him. Then he feels rejected, and he becomes even more bitter. This is a cycle, so we break it at the root. We give the man purpose. Now, son, let me tell you what purpose looks like. Purpose is waking up with a reason, not a mood, a reason. Purpose is training your body, because weakness is not acceptable. Purpose is working hard, because being a burden is shameful. Purpose is controlling your impulses, because a man who cannot control himself cannot lead. Purpose is building skill, because competence creates confidence. Purpose is serving something greater than your comfort, a family, a mission, a craft, a brotherhood, a standard. It does not have to be glamorous, it has to be real. Purpose is not follow your passion. That is childish advice. Passion comes and goes. Purpose remains. Purpose is duty. Duty is what holds you when you do not feel like moving. Now let me tell you a harsh truth. Most men do not want purpose. They want pleasure. They want ease. They want freedom from pressure. But a man without pressure becomes weak, and a weak man becomes a problem. So you must choose pressure. Voluntary pressure. You must build discipline. You must build routines. You must build standards, because standards create structure, and structure creates stability, and stability creates peace. A man without purpose has no stability, so he creates drama. He creates conflict. He creates chaos, because chaos gives him something to feel. And feeling something, even pain, is better than feeling nothing. That is why purposeless men pick fights. They argue, they sabotage relationships, they disrespect authority, they indulge in reckless behavior, because they are searching for intensity. They are searching for a reason to feel alive. But intensity is not purpose. It is a substitute. It is a fake fire. Real purpose is quieter. Real purpose is waking up early, training, working, providing, learning, building, correcting yourself, keeping your word. Real purpose is boring to weak men, because weak men need stimulation, strong men need direction. Now let me speak about the damage a purposeless man causes. He becomes a problem to his family. because he brings instability into the home. He is inconsistent. One day he is affectionate, the next he is cold. One day he is motivated, the next he is lazy. He does not lead, he reacts. And a woman cannot trust a man who reacts. Children cannot feel safe under a man who reacts. A home needs a pillar. A home needs a standard. A home needs order. A purposeless man brings chaos, even if he does not mean to, because he cannot control himself, and when pressure hits, he crumbles. Then he blames everyone else. He becomes a problem to his friends. Because he is unreliable, he cancels. He shows up late. He talks big and does little. He asks for help, but refuses to change. And after a while, men stop respecting him. Because respect is built on reliability, he becomes a problem to society. Because he becomes a consumer of resources, he contributes little and demands much. He wants sympathy without effort. He wants support without responsibility. He becomes a man who takes, and men who take without giving always become a problem. Now, son, I do not say this to insult men. I say it to warn you, because you must not become that man. You must aim. You must choose your mission, because your masculine energy is real. Your drive is real. Your aggression is real. Your hunger for conquest is real. The world will try to shame you for it. It will try to soften you. It will try to turn you into a harmless consumer. Do not allow it. Masculine energy is meant to build, to protect, to provide, to lead, but only when it is guided by purpose. Purpose is what turns a man into a force of good. Without it, he becomes destructive. Now you may ask, how do I build purpose? I will tell you. You start with responsibility. Take responsibility for your body. Train. Get stronger. Become harder to break. A weak body creates a weak mind. A strong body builds confidence. Then take responsibility for your work. Be competent. Be reliable. Be the man who handles problems, not the man who creates them. Then take responsibility for your home. Keep order. Keep your word. Protect your family from chaos. Then take responsibility for your mind. Stop feeding it junk. Stop drowning it in distractions. Read, study, learn, sharpen your thinking. A dull mind becomes a dangerous mind. Then take responsibility for your character. Be honest, be disciplined, be consistent. Stop lying to yourself. Stop making excuses. A man who lies to himself cannot build purpose, because purpose requires truth. Truth about your weaknesses. Truth about your habits. Truth about your responsibilities. Now understand something important. Purpose is not one big thing. It is built through many small duties done daily. Men think purpose must be a dramatic calling, a heroic destiny. No, purpose is often simple. Purpose is providing. Purpose is protecting. Purpose is building. Purpose is improving. Purpose is being the man others can trust. And if you do those things long enough, purpose becomes clear, because your life becomes structured around service and responsibility. And service gives meaning. Responsibility gives meaning. Now let me give you the final lesson. A man without purpose becomes a problem because he becomes self-centered. When you have no mission, you stare at yourself all day. You think about your feelings, your problems, your insecurities, your desires, your pain, and you become trapped in your own head. But when you have purpose, your eyes move outward. You look at the mission, you look at the work, you look at who needs you, you look at what must be done, and that frees you. Purpose frees you from the prison of self-obsession. That is why men who serve something greater are calmer, stronger, more stable. They have less time for drama. less appetite for nonsense, because their life is filled with duty. So fill your life with duty, not to be a slave, to be free. Because the truth is this: a man without purpose is not free. He is a slave to impulses, a slave to mood, a slave to pleasure, a slave to distraction. But a man with purpose is free because he is governed by a code. He does not do what he feels. He does what must be done. So do not drift, son. Aim. Choose your burden. Choose your mission. Carry weight. Become reliable. Become competent. Become disciplined. Because if you do not, you will not just suffer. You will become a problem. And the world does not have patience for problems. The world respects men who carry their weight. So carry yours. Build purpose through action. Then your life will stop feeling empty. Your mind will stop searching for distractions. Your heart will stop chasing cheap pleasure. Because you will have something real. A mission, a standard, a reason to endure. That is the warrior's code.